Hello everyone, Juxtaposition here. Today's video is entitled Coffee Time with Juxtaposition1. You know, I don't spend much time pandering for money on this channel. I spend 99% of my time creating interesting intellectual content, which is educational and or can relieve our stresses. I handle extremely disturbing topics on my channel, and I will run through that in a moment with you. But today's video, I want to get your attention. So the number one way you can support my work and my channel is to become a paid member. You need to go to Substack and subscribe for free on my Substack channel. And then when you find a video that you like and you find out it's behind a paywall, click on it and it'll ask for your credit card information and you'll become a paid member. It's $30 a month, which works out to 22 cents per video based on a library of over 1,600 videos that I have posted now at Substack. Now, if you don't want to be a paid member, you don't want to make a commitment to pay 22 cents a video, there's plenty of free videos you can watch. I have plenty of free samples on my channel. And nevertheless, I still want you to send me your money. Send me whatever you can afford. It can be any amount. I'll take any amount. I have a post office box. I'll post it below. It's Juxtaposition1, P.O. Box 601, Sonoma, California, zip code 95476. And you just send me whatever you think I need. You can just make it payable to Juxtaposition1. All right. So what I want to tell you is that the deal is that you can find my videos on Rumble, on Odyssey, on BitChute, and of course on Substack. You just type in Juxtaposition number 1. You don't need to put the number symbol, just Juxtaposition 1, and you'll see my videos. I can also be found at YouTube, where I am banned for life, but because of a quirk in the Matrix system, my videos are being posted regularly at YouTube under the Substack hole in the wall that they have. I have been banned numerous times at YouTube, and I had to change the name to Antidote for Poppycock Poisons. So you'll find me if you key in Antidote for Poppycock Poisons. You'll find my videos on YouTube. I cannot edit my videos. I can't respond. I can't respond at Odyssey. I cannot respond at BitChute. I cannot respond to you at YouTube, but you can find my videos there for free. Now, they pepper them with advertising for which I don't get paid. So again, I'd appreciate it if you would mail me in some money. Now, if you send me $150 or more, I will send you a very handsome coffee mug, right? In recognition for your donation and support of my channel. If you send me $250 or more, I'll send you two. I'll send you two of these, right? You can get two for you and your partner. All right. But I do prefer that you become a paid member too. That's always helpful. All right. So, what's interesting and unique about my channel, which it is very unique, is that I'm not a member of counterintelligence or COINTELPRO or counterinsurgency operations, which dominate the podcast and alternative media space. And I'm just telling you, I'm not part of it. And you can tell I'm shadow banned. I've been doing this for 4 years, and I only have approximately 14,000 subscribers across 5 different platforms, which is ridiculous because I should have over 100,000 people by now. Anyway, if I was doing, sports minus the steroids, I'd probably have 1 million people on my channel. The pillars of my channel are my Star Chamber investigations, which have a crack team of sleuths, and we look into murders mostly and felony crimes. I've always been known to cover Gladio murders, which are NATO military murders, and the Zodiac killings were military teams of soldiers, as was the Sharon Tate, Abigail Folger, Lena LaBianca. They are all murders. It's NATO versus NATO. They're all COINTELPRO operatives that are getting killed. or the children of operators getting killed, like the case of John Ramsey, who had two daughters murdered, John Bonet and Elizabeth, or William Colby, the CIA director. He took the job of CIA director, and 2 weeks later, his eldest child, Catherine Colby, was killed at age 22. And we have Nicole Brown Simpson's father, Lou Brown. He has two families, and he has two eldest daughters, and they were both murdered. His first daughter was murdered from his first family, and then his second daughter was killed by O.J. Simpson in the 875 Bundy situation back in 1994, I believe, in June, near summer solstice. All right. Anyway, I look at crimes like the Dr. Victor Oder massacre, which was a military murder, and I look at the Sharon Tate, Abigail Folger, Lena LaBianca murders. Look at Erin Valente. She was killed in a military murder after having met two private bankers, last people to see her alive. Alan Dorfman, Sam Giancana, Johnny Roselli, Ben Siegel, Pope John Paul I, John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy. Uh, I look into those. Those are all military murders. Arnold Rothstein, a Jew from New York who organized the five crime families in New York, he was murdered. Paul Castellano, he was murdered. Um, you do know that Gladio murders use the mafia often either as spotters, lookouts, or killers. So just because a person in the mafia gets killed, like Sam Giancana did, or Alan Dorfman did, or Johnny Roselli or Ben Siegel did, doesn't mean it's not military. It can totally be military. The mafia was involved in the John Kennedy murders too. But that makes sense because they're a branch of NATO. They work for NATO. The mafia is part of NATO, just like our media mafia, our Mockingbird media, they're part of NATO also. I look at the strange and mysterious disappearance of Emanuele Orlandi in Rome in the Vatican City. Her father was working for the Bank of Vatican and handling the Pope's calendar and appointments. That's very suspicious, right? Roberto Calfi, Michele Sedona, we look at their murders. Those are military murders of garroting and cyanide poisoning. Just like John Paul I, cyanide poisoned tea. We look heavy and strong in human augmentation, which goes by the name molecular engineering, smart dust, precision medicine, point of care medicine, e-medicine, e-pharmacy, zero trust, zero tolerance, goes by real ID verification, goes by CRISPR therapeutics, goes by um, photonics, optogenetics, ultrasonic, magnetic resonance weapons. That's human augmentation. That's the injury of your DNA. Gene editing is what they call it at UC Berkeley. That's what Jennifer Doudna calls it, of the Doudna Lab. That's what they call it at the Innovative Genomics Institute, which is run by the second husband of Jennifer Doudna, Jamie Kate. And it's also what they call it over at the Caribou Biosciences company in Berkeley near the aquatic park off of Ashby Avenue, Highway 13. Uh, it's called Cas9. Cas9 is molecular engineering. It's the injury of your DNA. It's the human augmentation of your brain. It's hooking you up to the internet, tethering you to the cloud like a human antenna or hard drive. We cover that on my channel. All right. There are no nations. There are no peoples. There's no Russia. There's no Ukraine. There's no Israel. There's no Arabs. There's no West. There's no third world. There is only Geneva, Switzerland, and then Strategic Hamlet Hunger Games. I mean, when you talk about Israel, for crying out loud, why don't you talk about the Bank of Vatican and the Vatican City in Rome? Why don't you talk about Monte Carlo in the Principality of Monaco? Why don't you talk about San Remo, a principality? Why don't you talk about Luxembourg or Grand Cayman or the Dutch Antilles? Or why don't you talk about Guyana and Jonestown, which never existed in real life because it was People's Temple Agricultural Project. But you see, these tax havens where people don't pay taxes, those are branch banks of Geneva, Switzerland, and Zurich. Zurich and Zug and Liechtenstein and Basel They all have offices in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and Israel, and Beirut, Lebanon, and in Istanbul, Turkey, and Athens, Greece, and Rome, Italy, and Milan, and in the Principality of San Remo, and Monte Carlo, and Paris, and London, and Manhattan, New York, with Blackstone and BlackRock, and San Francisco, and San Mateo, and Menlo Park on Sand Hill Road. Let me name the banks over there in case you forgot: Kleiner Perkins, Sequoia Capital, KKR Excel, Excel KKR, Jim Breyer Capital, which has an office in Austin, Texas, also. And also, there's a boatload of other ones that Eric Weinstein is involved with, and Peter Thiel of Founders Fund, Ben Horowitz and Mark Andreessen's investment fund, Laurene Powell, Bill Gates Foundation, McKinsey Consulting, Bain Capital, Boston Consulting, um, the Metropolitan Opera of New York, for crying out loud. Those are all basically private banks that you can money launder through. So forget about nations, forget about people, forget about the idea of a democratic republic. There's no communists, there's no socialists, there's no Democrats, there's no Republicans. There's only fascist private bankers who report to Geneva, Switzerland for anthropology. That's what you get on my channel, okay? Because the people who are in Switzerland, the 26 cantons, they have monkeyed around with the primal forces of nature. They're causing weather warfare. They're causing the pollution of our soil and water and our food, right? They're vaccinating all our farm animals. They're monkeying around with the primal forces of nature. They're disturbing the ecological balance of our home. And we discuss that on this channel. There is only one holistic system of systems, one atomic and subatomic system. And today it's called Swiss Bank Authority, whose anthropology plans and Real ID verified and Agenda 2030 expressed by the World Economic Forum and the United Nations, which are all doing the bidding of Swiss bankers. This is the international system of currency, like a river, right? It's money, right? It's social credit. It's social credit. It's also known as programmable money. That's what they want to foist on you next. Digital currency, cryptocurrency, central bank digital currency. That's programmable money. It's social obedience credit, meaning that if you atone and you will abide and you will pledge your allegiance to a Swiss bank with a real ID, palm print, biometric, eyeball recognition, and then you can't walk off this reservation without us trace tracking and targeting you 24/7. But Juxtaposition on this channel, I teach you their techniques, and I have a no gift, no mercy policy, right? So I hope I've made myself clear that my tenets are: we look at Hollywood films, and we look at A Shot in the Dark, and we look at The Manchurian Candidate, and the we look at Patton, to 3 Days of the Condor. We look at the Swiss conspiracy film, which is in your face. They tell you how private banking works. We look at The International, Prisoner, Danger Man, featuring Patrick McGowan, Identity Crisis. We look at the Star Chamber investigation, sleuthing into felony crimes, mostly Gladio murders. We look at popular music, which includes Frederick Chopin, Amadeus, Wolfgang Mozart, Johann Strauss, the three tenors, Johann Sebastian Bach. We look at jazz music. We look at Sarah Vaughan. We look at Amy Winehouse. We look at Judy Garland. We look at rock and roll. We look at dance music, Shindig, American Bandstand, Midnight Express, all existing before MTV rolled around. We look at music to calm our souls and to allow us to recharge our batteries so that we can come back to be a paid member in good standing at the Juxtaposition channel, so that we can expose the charlatans who lie to us 24/7. And you know who I'm talking about. Everyone from Tucker Carlson to Whitney Webb to Glenn Greenwald to Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, Megyn Kelly, James Woods, Tucker Carlson, Stu Peters, Stupider Peters, born on April Fool's Day, for crying out loud, 1980. Get the message, get a clue. Tattoos all over his body. That's my video for today. Do like and share my videos. Do share. Do send in your money to my P.O. box. And do help me be able to go out on tour and do more sophisticated videos. The more money I have in the budget, I can improve my content, all right, which already I think is world-class content. So it's all about getting one of these juxtaposition mugs to demonstrate your support of my channel in excess of $150, but I will accept any amount of money. But here's the thing. You put the coffee in the cup and you put the money in the hat. This is the fedora. My fedora, sleuther Sam Spade detective sleuthing hat, right? And I'm not beyond asking you to put the money in the hat, and maybe you will get a Juxtaposition 1 coffee mug. Take care now. Bye-bye.